particular thing. It's the stuff that's been happening in the NFL. My man Brian Flores, actually, man, your favorite team, right? Your favorite team.
Yeah, needless to say, I'm not rooting for the Dolphins anymore.
His favorite team, the Dolphins, fired Brian Flores um, week after the season was over with for having two winning seasons over the past two seasons and not making the playoffs though. But they fired him. But then this past week, he is suing the NFL, the New York Giants, Miami Dolphins, and the Houston
Denver
Texans.
Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Sorry about that. So he's suing the Dolphins because allegedly, all of this is alleged. The Dolphins was paying him money to lose games. So in his first season, they were saying we will pay you $100,000 or a certain amount of money if you lose X amount of games for the season. His mind says like, what? I'm here to win, not to lose games. So of course he probably did it, but he won too many games that season, so it put a fringe, a little hinge on the ownership relationship with Brian. Um, so year two, he went 9-7, not 8-8 or 9-7, 1-2, and then this past season he went 9-8, but they fired him. Cool. So then with the Giants, Bill Belichick, the head coach of the New England Patriots, texted Brian Flores saying, "Hey, congratulations um, on getting a job." You know, he was texting the person who actually got the job for the New York Giants. He didn't think he was texting Brian Flores. So Brian Flores found out that this dude got hired, but also this man still had an interview with the New York Giants. That's the fucked up part about it. So you find out through another coach on a whole different team that another man got a job that you're still interviewing for. It's kind of fishy. And also with the different Broncos, that he's suing them because they was just checking off the box of the Rooney Rule. And what's the Rooney Rule? Any higher up position, head coaches, offensive coordinators, GMs, front office positions, you have to interview at least one black man or minority group to check off that box. You have to. So a lot of people have been filling out this box just by, hey, come interview with me, even though we're not going to hire you. But if you're a black man, most likely they're going to ask you to tank games. Um, so real quick, it's not all of it. It's still other reports still coming out, but real quick, Rush, what's your take on that?
So, for me, man, I know a little bit about the Dolphins, as aforementioned. Um, so Stephen Ross, a Michigan alum, by the way, is the owner of the Dolphins. Um, as a Dolphins fan, watching them fire Brian Flores after having the first consecutive winning seasons since 2003, was a little peculiar, right? I mean, but you can kind of see the writing on the wall. Um, there's been a stigma in the NFL, or even if you go outside of the NFL and workplaces, if you don't perform at an exceedingly high level, then you get thrown by the wayside, and that's what happened with Brian Flores. Um, they didn't say that he took any of the money for losing games, but he was offered 100,000 to lose games, as he said, and even offered vacation time in the interim to take a break and, hey, you're going a little too hard. We want to improve our draft stock. So, this is one of those things for me where I look at the NFL and these leagues as a whole, who populate over 80% of black people within their leagues. The NBA certainly does. The NFL probably is around a high 70 percentage, somewhere within 70 percentage. But I think we can all agree that most of the NFL players, especially at the skill positions, are black. You got your your corners, your receivers, your running backs, most of them are black. Um,
Defensive line,
yeah,
linebackers. Yeah.
yeah.
The
So
only white dominant position in the NFL is the quarterback.
right. So given the fact that these are, leagues that are predominantly black, and then you look up and see that most GMs and most head coaches are white, then that takes some examining, right? I mean,
Right.
this it certainly isn't because these black players don't know the game. It's just simply because of the opportunity. These black players play the game at a high level. Who wouldn't say that they would be coaches at high levels if given the opportunity? So my take on the Rooney Wheel is that it's essentially affirmative action without people getting hired.
Yeah.
Just being able to interview, and it's like it's ridiculous. So my whole take on all of this Brian Flores and all of these leagues is it will never be right if we are owning it. If Bron and Katie and all of these great players went and played in the other league and they own the teams, we as the fans would all follow because we follow them. We don't follow the owners. Own our leagues, bro. If Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and all of these great Devontae Adams, if they all went to another league, we would watch that league. The NFL, the owners don't make the NFL. The players make the NFL. That product. The same for these colleges, bro. They make millions off of us, billions off of us, billions. We don't own anything, but they just give us enough money to be quiet. We'll never be completely satisfied unless we own these leagues, bro. That's what it boils down to. And because that it turns us into millionaires, it can turn someone's situation around for being someone that's in the hood into a millionaire. We sick and we tolerate it. But there is so much more out for us if we all group together and did it ourselves. I mean, Ice Cube got a big three, bro. And people and players who were retiring were low key shunning the big three. Like, I don't really want to do that. It ain't the NBA. It's a league owned by a black man. Like, come on, man. I mean, we can really
That's true.
change this, bro. We
That's
can
true.
really change this, bro. We really could if we really wanted to, but we never will because we don't stay along. We happy with what they give us. That I
Yeah.
think that's by far what's the most disappointed it is this Brian Flores story. The narrative would be reversed if we own the leagues. Now I don't know what type of the inner dealings and inner workings of these leagues and what contracts they have. I know they have contracts with various networks and have to televise certain games, and they have um, uh, deals with arenas as well, and how many games they have to have within an arena. But it's just crazy to me. And then the rules that players complain about, if you have black people or people that understand what you want out of it, owning these leagues, you won't have half the problems. If you want marijuana in your league, you can have marijuana. It's like it's baffling to me. I just feel like we can do it, man. And us as the consumer, we can take it and run with it. You think
That's
ESPN
true.
will keep covering the NFL if it's not making them no money? Disney about that bottom line, bro. They'll
Yes,
go
they are.
if it's called the PFL now, the Professional Football League. You see PFL all over ESPN talking about all these various players. It's the talent that we talk about. And who
Hmm.
produces this talent is majority black people, bro. It's not saying
That's
that
facts.
whites don't do it, but it is a majority black people.
Yeah, even I think probably hockey. It's just probably um, dominantly white league, but every other league is owned by a minority group. Baseball. and even soccer things. We can keep going on and on. But my question too to this whole thing, if there's been other reports that other coaches were being asked to take games or even to show up for an interview. Hugh Jackson from the Browns, same situation. They said they had a whole plan out first 2 seasons. We're gonna lose. We want good draft position, and the next two, season 3 and season 4, we want to win at least 8 to 10 games. Before training camp started, the Browns were releasing people, you know, wondering like a lot of their fans and even their own players, why are we releasing these veterans if these veterans can help us win games? They released them. There's things behind it, and also, bro, this to back to Miami real quick. Did you do you watch the shop on HBO?
No, not like that. I see
I
highlights, but I don't consistently watch.
it was one episode with Tom Brady. He was up there, and then he was like, "Yo, y'all sticking with this mother instead of me? You don't want me?" Kind of find out that they were talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua. Tom Brady wanted to low key go to Miami, but they decided to stick with them. So this kind of plays a part into what was happening in Miami. Why would you not want to sign Tom Brady? In all honesty, but you want to stick with Fitzpatrick and Tua, a rookie, when you had a good chance with a great defense to go to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. That's questionable, bro. So like it's all it's alleged, but I feel like there's some truth behind this story with Brian Flores, man. But it's just not
Oh,
what. Go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Now
I don't
about
mean
to,
to cut you.
yeah, I was about to say, yeah, man. I feel like there's some truth behind it, man. And other coaches are coming up, and I really feel like even with my own team, the Detroit Lions, I feel like that happened with Jim Caldwell, bro. He was fired after 2 winning seasons, or right there seasons, and he was fired. And we was wondering why would we fire Jim Caldwell coming off a playoff berth 2 years ago. So I really do feel like when it comes to hiring practices and other things that are about this Rooney Rule, I feel like this is the case. I feel like there's some truth behind it, man. I
And
really
I
do.
hope Jim Caldwell comes out and say something because I 100% believe something shiesty went down with Jim Caldwell too.
Yeah,
And Mike Tomlin has been that coach that performed at that exceed. He's the one black
yep,
coach in the head coach in
yep,
the NFL. He never had
yep.
a losing season. And the crazy part is, during some of those seasons, he was still considered to be on the hot seat.
Exactly,
And he never had a
exactly,
losing season. We are
exactly.
They get fired for having winning seasons and not being able to take these franchises to the next level. But then they hire someone after Jim Caldwell. Who was it?
Patricia, whatever his last name
What did
is.
he do? What did Matt Patricia do?
When he only won a total of 9 games, I think, throughout his 3-year tenure.
3 year, 9 games in 3 years, 9 wins in 3 years. Terrible,
Yeah,
bro. You know what?
yeah.
He'll get another opportunity. You know
He
who
went
they
back to the
hired?
Patriots.
Yeah. What's crazy? Adam Gase, who was the coach for the Miami Dolphins, stunk up the Miami Dolphins, bro. It was a
Yep.
solid team, solid offense, had Ryan Tannehill, and completely stunk it up there, bro. Never
Yep.
made the playoffs with Miami. I don't even think he had a winning season. If he did, it was only one winning season. And then he gets fired from Miami and immediately gets a job from the Jets, and then does horrible on the Jets. You know what? He'll get another opportunity. Josh McDaniels went to Denver and coached and underperformed. He underachieved. Went back to New England with old Bill. Oh, Bill. And then gets a job offer and gets the job for the Raiders, bro. I mean,
Yeah, but I will say I'm not gonna take any credit away from Josh McDaniel. He did his thing even with Mac Jones. Like I give, and even with Tim Tebow, he did his work. I can't take that away. But my biggest question is though, was with it's being said that black coaches were getting paid to lose games. Were there any white coaches being paid to lose games? If there weren't, that's a huge problem. So if no white coaches come out within this next couple weeks and say, "Yeah, I was paid off," la la la, that's a problem, man. When it comes to black head coaches in the league, that's a huge problem, man.